Annyeonghaseyo, 여러분. This is Helena from DrGMusicIndustry. I play the French horn in the military music ensemble. Check out part 1 with the link in the description below. We talked about the military job pros in my last video, and there are some amazing perks to the job. But there's another side to the story. We're going to talk about that now, and I hope to earn your subscription today. So let's dive right in. Okay, now we have to talk about the cons. You know, I think for a lot of people, this is gonna be obvious. There are a lot of things that we take for granted in our lives. When we take a job, and it's not just the military, it could be in the corporate world, you do lose some autonomy. I think for some people, losing the freedom to wear what they want, say what they want, act the way they want all the time is a con. But I think it's important to remember that even in the corporate world, you can't always say what you think and wear whatever you want, act the way you want. There are some restrictions to what is appropriate for that job. Having to wear a military uniform every day could be a con. Now, it's important to note that you are given money to buy your uniforms in the military. That's part of your salary. It's a little bonus that you get. I don't think this happens in the civilian world very often, so I think this is great. But again, wearing a uniform could be a con for some people. Now for me, wearing a uniform is a huge pro. I don't have to think about what I'm gonna wear every day. It's the same every day. There's no guesswork. Being in a very structured environment, a lot of people worry that all of their freedoms are gonna be taken away when they take a military job. For me, this is fantastic. I love the structure. I love getting up and knowing what my day is gonna be like and just having that security. But for some people, they might miss that freedom. Another con is all the moving. Typically, people move every 2 to 4 years, but sometimes it can be less, and sometimes people can stay in a place longer. What I mean is that there are various assignments that can be given to you at any minute, and you do have to uproot and move relatively quickly. It could be overseas, it could be stateside, it could be anywhere. That's part of the job. Now, I think this is great because you get to see the world, you get to see the country, you get to experience different cultures, different languages, different foods, different parts of the country that you might never have seen before. Do you live on the East Coast and have always wondered what it's like to live on the West? Well, you might have an opportunity to do that, to travel. With a family, moving means a different thing. It can be harder. Some people find it challenging. Having to serve a minimum requirement of time, which means that you usually sign up for a 4-year commitment or a 6-year commitment, and you are required to fulfill that obligation. You signed your name on the dotted line, you're required to do that. So again, I guess it's any way you look at it or how you spin it. So to me, that just means that I have a paying job in a field that I love, music, for 4 years or 6 years. And I'm guaranteed, as long as I keep my nose clean and do what I'm supposed to do, to keep that job and keep getting a paycheck until I want to re-sign my name on the dotted line again for another 4 to 6 years. So I think it's great, but again, it is a commitment. You can't just quit this job. You can't quit a military job like you would many others in the civilian sector. So that is something that's worth considering. Traveling. Yes, there's a lot of traveling that happens. It's in the form of deployments or TDYs. Now for me, I do a lot of TDYs. I'm on the road a lot, touring, playing concerts, and maybe for somebody in my stage of life with a family, that can be pretty hard. 20 years ago when I first started, I loved traveling to different countries, playing concerts in different countries. I think it's a tough one. Depending on who you are and where you come from, traveling for any job can be a positive or a minus. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't know whether you should call this a pro or a con, but I'm just gonna say it. The exercise. It's called PT, physical training. Now, I'm somebody who hates exercise. I hate it. But if it weren't for my job, I probably would be pretty unhealthy. And here's how it works. You're expected to stay physically fit, but You're given a lot of help and a lot of tools. There's great gyms at military bases. There's great trainers. People in your units will help you work on that. There's usually somebody assigned as a fitness leader. They can help you with that. Plus, you don't just jump into the job fit. You have to go to boot camp first. And believe me, that will get you fit faster than you can say. PT or physical training is, for many people, a con because they don't want to exercise. They don't want to have somebody telling them they have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to get up and do a group PT session. But every year you are tested on your physical strength, usually push-ups, sit-ups, running. Some services have swimming. Yay! Good for them. But basically you have to have a minimum fitness requirement and you're expected to keep that up. I love having that because I'm actually worried about the day I retire and nobody's telling me I have to go out and stay healthy, because I worry that I would just go back to being. If you want to hear more about my personal story and perspective on military jobs, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. The military job is not for everybody, which is why I am bringing this to you, so you have all the facts before you make a big decision. Once again, I'm Helena for Dr. G Music Industries. If you have any ideas for future videos, please let me know. And see you next time.